My name is Tammy Ramsey. I am the owner of Daisy Do Right here in Vincennes, and I'm on a mission to spotlight and highlight successful women and women who make an impact on our community, hopefully to inspire other women to start their own journey. Since I don't know a whole lot about you, would you do me the favor of introducing yourself as if someone else was introducing you?
Oh, it's my pleasure, and it's an honor to be here today with you. And it's wonderful what you're doing
Thank you.
to inspire women. My name is Emily Bunyan. I've been the director of the Knox County Public Library since July of 1990. Prior to that, I was the director at the Washington Carnegie Public Library in Washington, Indiana. And prior to that, I was the director at the Linton Public Library.
Where did you start out in your childhood? Where did you live?
Merrim, Indiana.
Oh, that's a way. So how did you get down in this area?
My husband and I met in Vincennes, and he lives on a family farm, and that's how I came here.
Okay. Before you got into the library, did you do anything else, or has that been your career the whole way through?
I've had a few odd jobs. I started in 23 as a director of the Linton Public Library, and from 23 to the age of 28, I was in library school part-time. I worked full-time, and at that time there were no online options or weekend options. So I worked into my schedule the classes that I took to complete my degree, and it took me 5 years, which is the maximum length of time allowed by IU Library School.
But you made it.
Right.
There you go. Now that you've been in Knox County a while, what do you think makes Knox County unique?
Well, of course, we know about the historical aspect. It's really unusual to have a town this size with a national park, a state park, grassland, and all the other historical amenities and documents available for researchers and visitors. I think volunteerism is a hallmark of the county. People are really compelled to give back to the community in a myriad of ways, and I admire that.
If you could live anywhere else, would you, or are you happy to stay here?
I'm happy here. I like to visit other places and travel.
Is that a thing that you enjoy, history?
I do love history, yes. I was an English major in college, and I love the written word, and I love to learn about history.
Speaking of the written word, I'm going to share a quote from an article you wrote for the Sun Commercial. And it is, one of the best gifts I ever received was a reading journal on my 10th birthday. Jeff, my older brother, gave it to me. He said, write down the author and title of each book that you read. Always underline the title. And then he added, now promise me that you will only write down the author and title after you've read every word in the book, beginning to end. And then you quoted at the end of that, so that's my ritual. Do you still do that?
I do. And when you mention my brother, that kind of makes me feel emotional, because my brother was my mentor, and he was a librarian, and he's my older brother. And the main reason I went into library work was because of his encouragement.
Nice.
And he was my literary guru too. He instructed me on what to read and about keeping the journal. And I'd forgotten I'd written that, and I do. And I always think of him when I write down the titles and authors after I read a book, and I keep that by my bedside, the current journal by my bedside. So I keep track of the books I read.
So I'm going to just assume that reading is very important to you.
It's very important to me, and it's been a real soothing, therapeutic activity for my entire life.
Can I ask what's your favorite genre?
I like literary fiction.
Do you have
I find
a favorite
that really
author?
meaningful. I like John Updike and Ann Tyler, J.D. Salinger. are some of my favorites.
Mhm. Is there one that any genre that you just really can't stand?
No.
Really?
I like all
You're
genres.
after my own heart here. If you could be any fictional woman from a book you've read, who would you be?
Oh, now I'm having to think about this.
Do you want to come back to it?
Yeah, let me come
Okay.
back to that.
The library is not just about reading, even though that's what I go there for.
Mhm.
There's a lot of community stuff that goes on there.
Mhm.
Would you want to expound on any of that?
The community is the heart of the library,
Mm-hmm.
and we are really responsive to community needs. The library is centrally located in a high traffic area, and we receive all sorts of requests for services. Some we can provide, some we aren't able to provide. We do all we can to enhance life for people in our community.
So I picture all aspects of life when I hear
Yes.
about the things that you do. It's not just literacy,
Mhm.
but social, economic, all parts of life you're working towards improving
Mhm.
or enriching. Nice.
People in every income level, every social strata of the community, the library is open to all, and that's one reason I love public libraries, is because they're open to all people
Mm-hmm.
and they're not restrictive. And Andrew Carnegie made that possible for libraries to be built all over the country, and made sure that they were tax supported. Libraries couldn't be built in communities if they weren't supported by a local tax. And that was a genius element of his philanthropy. And he had the caveat that they were open to all. And so we embrace that at the library. So education for all, daily living. Every day we help someone with some sort of e-commerce or e-government question, filling out job applications, applying for a driver's license, all the things necessary for daily living in terms of finding information on the internet, we help people with.
I recall for myself personally, I needed to know some things about my zoning where I live and what I could and could not do. And I went to the courthouse and they said, go to the library. And that's where
That happens all the time.
So I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
What do you think the biggest accomplishment you've had at the library so far has been?
Keeping it open in difficult times, like navigating through COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and then enduring that whole shutdown, coming out on the other side even stronger than before, and offering more services than we did before.
Remind me, during COVID, did the library provide internet service for people who needed it for schooling?
Yes. Well, do you mean at their homes?
No, I mean, did they drive to the library and use the Wi-Fi?
Yes, we did not open to the public for 6 weeks, and people came in their vehicles or they walked and they could use our Wi-Fi. And there was a photo on our Facebook page of a gentleman who set up a little office in the spring, like in April of 2020, and he had a folding table and his computer, and he was on the Wi-Fi in our parking lot because the building was closed. And I really love that photo.
Well, I'm sure it's a perfect example of how you helped people through a really tough time keep their whatever they were working on going. So yeah,
We really filled a need during that time.
looking forward, do you have any projects or announcements that you want to share with us?
We're going through a strategic planning process right now, and I'll be sending a survey to you to complete about what you would like the library to offer in the future, the next 3 years.
Will that be coming in the mail?
It's available on our website, and I can send it to your email. So you won't overlook it. We want to keep doing more of what we're doing. Of course, we'll gather all the data and all the opinions from people we talk to and all the surveys we compile, and then we'll decide what services we can provide within our parameters and set our 3-year plan. I hope that we do more of what we've been doing to reach out to all age groups and to provide state-of-the-art technology for everyone in the community, regardless of income, and open to new possibilities that perhaps I haven't considered.
You use the word parameters, and I'm picturing the library board as deciding what the parameters are. For people who aren't familiar with what a board is or does, could you kind of quickly say what that is?
Well, we operate under the state of Indiana laws as a tax-supported institution like a school or a city or a town or a county. Fire department, police department. We operate under state laws. So those are our parameters. State Board of Accounts governs all of our financial transactions and record keeping. And we have guidelines to follow for the board, best practices. So our library board is comprised of 7 people appointed by elected officials. 2 by the county commissioners, 2 by the county council, 2 by the Vincennes School Corp, and 1 by North-South Knox School Corp combined. They live all over Knox County.
And what's your position as the director? How do you fall into the hierarchy?
Well, they hired me, and then I handle the daily operations of the library.
So you're doing all the grunt
work. Well, I don't like to complain. I have a wonderful staff and a very supportive board, and I'm very grateful to them. So I report to them every month. That's a state law. You have to meet a minimum of once per month. So I report to them and give them financial information and answer any questions they have and talk to them about any issues or programs upcoming.
What gives you motivation?
Well, knowing that when I arrive at work for my shift, that people are waiting for us to unlock the door.
Oh, I've been one of those. I know what that's like.
When I'm getting ready for work, I think there are going to be people waiting when I arrive, no matter what the weather is. The nicer weather brings more people because it's more comfortable to sit outside and wait. But I know they're going to be waiting on us. I know people are depending on us.
I met with you one time before, and we went before the Friends of the library.
I remember, and you donated to the Friends.
What I want to go through is, what are the Friends of the library?
Okay, that's a great question. Think of a parent-teacher organization or a parent-teacher association, PTO, PTA for a school. That's what the Friends are. A 501c3 tax-exempt organization formed in 1992, and they provide funding and support that isn't always possible through those parameters that I just mentioned. They can do fundraising that our board doesn't do.
Are they all volunteers?
They're all volunteers.
It was a pretty nice group when I met, but it's been a few years ago. Is there room for more people to volunteer?
Absolutely. We're always wanting more people to help.
If they're interested, if anyone's interested, do they just come into the library and ask?
Well, we have monthly meetings, of course. They're welcome to come in the library and talk to me, and I have a brochure for them to complete. We have a meeting the 3rd Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. in our main library sunroom, and we're always looking for more people to help us support the library.
Are there any other volunteer opportunities, or is that the best place to go?
That's the best place to start, and they have book sales every month, and they're always looking for people to help greet people as they arrive at the book sales, keep books in order, and greet the public.
What day of the month are they?
It's always the last Friday.
Oh, okay.
We just had a sale last Friday.
Since you've been doing this, for several years now altogether. Have you
42.
have you learned anything surprising about yourself?
Wow, that's a great question. I've learned to try to overcome biases. We all have biases.
Mhm.
And I work with so many different types of people that I realize I like to think of myself as being really tolerant, but I realize I have biases too, and not not necessarily for the stereotypical things you might consider a bias, but maybe I've had experience in the past with a certain type of person that I might carry over into another exchange, and I realize that I need to overcome that and try to just uh, be as tolerant as I can be. So that's something surprising about myself, because I always thought I was one of the most tolerant people in the world until I was challenged, and then I had to confront my own biases.
Who schedules the programming? Is that you?
We have our children's department staff.
Mhm.
They schedule all the programs for birth through teenage. And then we have Janet Kitchen, who does a lot of the programming, like our really popular canvas painting classes. I have a brochure here. Those fill up immediately after the notice is released that the classes are available. She does the monthly book discussion for adults, and painting classes and crochet classes. And our McGrady Brockman House does a lot of programming for historical programs.
My business focuses a lot on marketing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get all these programs, different things out to the public? How do you catch their attention to what's going on?
When I first started working in libraries, it was against the law to pay for advertising. And that law changed about 15 years ago. So we could pay for advertising, and we could pay for refreshments for public programs. And that was a game changer. I can remember buying cookies at the grocery store and asking friends to pay for them, or I'd kick in some money for refreshments. And we have been really grateful to local media for giving us a lot of free news and time on the air, time in print. And like with you helping with offering this podcast opportunity. So now we can pay within reason for advertising. And of course, Facebook is free. We use it really heavily. We have a website, and we paid to have our website renovated recently. Your son has done some wonderful videos for us. So it's great to be able to pay for some of that advertising that we were just beholden to local media outlets to give us before the law changed.
Okay. Would you say that Facebook is probably the best way if I was wanting to see every single thing that was going on at the library, would be check the Facebook page?
That would be a great place to start. So you could go to our website and then get onto our Facebook page. We update it several times a week.
Okay.
Some people say that they don't use Facebook. So it's difficult to find the best way to reach people with so many choices now on how to reach people. Everyone has a preference, and it's difficult to find that preference and to meet that preference in every situation.
Right. If I gave you $1 million, said you could spend it on any project you wanted to, it would be a long-range project. So you're not going to see the results right away, but you're investing in a long-range project. What would you spend it on?
I might divide it in different areas.
Sure. What would you do?
Like, one thing I would like to have is a group of case managers to work with people in need of social services, so that we could refer them to agencies in the community for help. We do some referrals now. We have a person who works several hours a week to make those referrals, but we could use more help in helping people find those services, being sort of a conduit to other local social service agencies. There are a lot of things that I would do with the properties that we have to make them better. I'd replace some roofs, perhaps, or do some big maintenance projects. Perhaps add on to the McGrady Brockman for our really large historical collection. I'm sure staff members would have 1,000 ways to spend it. But we're really we're fortunate to have the tax support that we have. We are grateful to local taxpayers.
All right, so we're going to go back to the fictional character. Have you thought of one that you would want to be?
Oh, I'm thinking about this one. It was from a book called 3 Junes. And it's about a woman's life over these 3 different Junes in different decades of her life, and how she overcame obstacles and pain and in every cycle, and then experienced joy, and it kind of showed the invincibility of the human spirit, and how she had this zest for life, the main character. And so she was determined to try to extract as many joyful moments as she could, no matter how difficult her life was. And I really admired that.
Oh, cool. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up with that. I want to thank you so much for being here and for sharing all of your knowledge and inspiring us all to read and visit the library. And hopefully we will inspire some young people too.
It's my pleasure and honor. Thank you so much, Tammy.